Hello, everybody out there on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be opening the doors in just about 15 seconds. Thank you for your patience. We're glad you're here to sing with us today. Everybody all set? Here we go. Deep breath. Hello, 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 everybody. Happy 300th day of the Daily Antidote of Song. And a huge shout out to all of the folks in this room who have been with us for so many of those days. It is really 300 days of family now. And it is amazing to see you all here again with smiles on your faces, ready to sing, ready to celebrate the good things in life and figure out ways that we can all help each other work through the tough things in life. Happy 300th day of the Washington Rebels Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Song. I want to greet everybody out there on Facebook Live. And I'm excited to see folks with us today. So hello to Aaron Geyer and Nico Rossi DeMatti's running the tech for us today. Thank you very much for being here. And hello to Kathy in Virginia. Busy. Hello, Carpe Diem Arts. Hello, Margot. Nice to see you today. And hello to Hindi in Toronto. Hello, Julia May. Nice to see you today. Glad you're here. Hello, Karen in Arizona. Julia is also one of our regular tech folks. Thank you, Julia, for joining. Hello, Karen in Arizona. And Arlene in California. Hello, Anna in Maryland. Nice to see you today. And hello to Gay. Glad you're here, Gay. Susan in Ohio. Deborah in Kentucky. Doug in Vermont. Renata, glad you're here again, coming in from Wisconsin. Renata is one of the newest members of our community, having joined us since the Washington Post article this past week. Yay, Renata, we're glad you're here. Caroline in the DMV area, hello. Christiana and maybe Bob in the background, hello. Sarah in Texas, Sue in California, Dennis in BC, hello, Dennis. I know you know Maggie today very, very well, as you are both a member of the same Ubuntu Choir Network. Hello, Nancy in Vermont. Hello, Susan in the Gettysburg area. Glad to see you. Hello, Bonnie in Idaho. Hello, Wendy. Glad you're with us today. Amy in DC. Nice to see you. Okay, Amy is bringing everybody here. Take a good look at Amy Square out into the what it looks like here in Washington, DC right now. We look a little bit like Idaho of a couple of days ago when I was poking at Claire for having a giant snowstorm in his background. Hello to Carolyn in Idaho. Speaking of which, hello. Look, Carolyn's made us a 300 days banner. I totally love it. Thank you, Carolyn. I knew I could count on somebody to bring a super amount of creativity to this day. Hello, Paula and Ting and little Zora. Hi, Zora. We're glad you're singing with us today. Nice to see you. Hello, Annette in California, Nancy in Washington, Deli in DC, Dan in Virginia, Sheila in Florida, Sherry, hello. Nice to see you today. Hello, Luda in BC. Nice to see you. Deborah and Gary in Oregon. Hello, nice to have you with us today. I'm not sure if you knew, but we are glad you are here. Tom in Victoria, hello. Jenny, also Victoria. Kevin in New Hampshire, hello. Trish in Victoria, that's 3 in a row. One more, and I'm going to say bingo. Janice Wilkins, nice to see you today. Glad you're here with us, and glad you're joining us from wherever you are. Beth in Kentucky, hello. Norris, hello. Glad you're here. Oh, and I see someone else is in Janice's screen too. Hello to you also. Patrice in Connecticut, Fran and Dale in Colorado. Dale is hiding today. I see Lynn in Connecticut, Isabel in Florida, with a very cool screen effect going there. Anna, hello. Nice to see you today, coming in from Maine. Lisa in Indiana. Pete and Janet in Toronto, hello and hello. Oh, there she is. Nice to see you, Janet. Jane in the DMV area. Mabel in Massachusetts. Emily in Massachusetts. Anne, Storm. Wait, everybody's switching around. I said hello to you, some of you already. How did you get over there? Carol, nice to see you. Andrea, is that Andrea? Yep, there's Andrea, Jubilee Voices Director. Glad to see you. And if I'm repeating now, I won't know it because I've already forgotten where I started. Julie, Marnie, Max, Steve, Bob, Susan, Gary, Jamie, Barbara, Sheila, Patrice. See, I know I said Sheila already. And hello, everybody who's not on video today. Really glad that you've joined us today. And hello again to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Got 85 people in the room. So now everybody take a deep breath. That was a lot of me. It's really good to see you all. Let's everybody look at all of you. What a happy, happy sight today. I so love it. So as we are here celebrating our 300th day, we have two exciting artists that I am really, really super happy we're going to get to sing with today. Quick notes, the lyrics for both will be in the chat. The donate link, as always, in the chat, and all of the money that comes in goes directly to the artists who lead us in song. My email in the chat if you want to get on our Daily Antidote email list. The Washington Post article will be in the chat in case you haven't read it yet. Not that I've mentioned it 500 times. And a huge thank you to, again, Aaron and Julia and Nico, all running various aspects of tech today and always. All right, before I say anything else, I just want to remind you all that tonight we have a Washington Rebels pub sing at 4 p.m. where you can bring your food, bring your drink, whatever time it is where you are, and sing songs with 4 different members of Jubilee Voices. Will be leading tonight. David Facunle, Andrea, and Harold Blackford, who I count as one because they'll be in the same square. Greg Magruder and Arthuretta Holmes Martin, each going to lead a song tonight. Plus we have Steve and Jen leading about another 6, and they are hosting. It's going to be lots of fun, and we are calling it an extension of our 300th day celebration. So I hope that you guys can join us tonight. And please email me or text me if you're having any trouble getting in, because we've had link issues in the past. So just you know where to find me. All right. So today we have a super, super special guest coming in first, which is Jim Harkless. And then after that, we have another super, super special guest coming in, Maggie Wheeler. So we have Jim over here in Noon Land in Washington, D.C., and Maggie over there in 9 a.m. land in California. So Jim, I am so, so happy to be able to bring you here to sing with us today. One of our favorite Jubilee Voices singers. Well, of course, they're all our favorite, but you know what I mean. Jim Harkless, welcome to the Daily Antidote. I'm hoping you can say a few words about yourself and then teach us your chorus.
Hello, everyone. It's this is my first time hosting, although I've been on a number of times with Jubilee Voices. Many of your names are very familiar to me. For some reason or other, the one that sticks with me because the first time I saw him with his beard, and I'm not looking at him now, was Storm from Massachusetts, and he's a real regular. I can't see everyone. Unfortunately, I don't see any children today. Are there any children, Joe? Because I love to have the kids.
Yep. So we have Zora, who is 3 years old, and she is on. Yep, she's on a screen somewhere. I'll find her.
Yeah, I've seen Zora before. Yes, hi Zora. Yes.
There she is.
Yes, she's a beautiful child.
She sure is. Hello, Zora.
And I'm coming to you from my rehab facility room, and I'm going to sing a spiritual, which many people don't know, and I'm going to have to ask Andrea to find out more about it. But I like it because it's a very uplifting, hopeful song. It's On My Journey Now, Mount Zion. And the chorus is, on my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now. On my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion. Let's do it together. On my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion. One day, I was walking along. Well, the elements opened and the love come down, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I went to the valley and I didn't go to stay. Well, my soul got happy and I stayed all day on Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion. You can talk about me just as much as you please. Well, I'll talk about you when I get on my knees, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion. One more time. On my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion. Very good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Very good is right, Jim. That was so lovely. And you're right, totally uplifting. Look, there's a sign someone's holding up. We love Jim. Can you see that, Aaron? If you could spotlight Margot in DC so that Jim can see.
Oh, yes,
Woo-hoo!
Margot. Margot is one of my
Thank you.
friends who takes care of me.
Yay, that's lovely. Thank you.
They brought me some goodies yesterday.
Ooh, that sounds like a good thing. So thank you.
Not to eat though, but to sustain me.
Very nice. So actually, Aaron, can you also spotlight Jim just for a minute so everybody can see him in big? And then Jim, if you, hello, Jim, it's so good to have you here. Let's all send Jim a bunch of well wishes. So Aaron, you can move it back. And then Jim, I'm going to see whether or not you can still see everybody. Let me know if you've got gallery view or not right now.
I don't have gallery view right now.
Okay, we're going to wait 1 second until you can find it and put it back on gallery view. And then we're going to get everybody to jump up and down and send you lots of goodwill and good cheer.
Well,
do you remember?
I'm not getting it. But...
Do you remember where the little circle is with the checkerboard?
Oh, it's too confusing for me.
Too confusing. All right. So you know what? You can always see it later on Facebook Live. So I'm going to send you that link. So right now, whether you can see us or not now, you'll get to see us later. Let's all send Jim a lot of healing wishes. Everybody ready? Go. Woo! All right, Jim, that was totally gorgeous. You're going to love it.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're going to have a little discussion after we also have Maggie's song. So in the meantime, Jim, would you be willing to introduce Miss Maggie?
Yes, I've just met Maggie Wheeler today, just before we got started. She's out in Los Angeles, and she's a fabulous song leader and singer herself. She has a program similar to ours on Saturdays in Los Angeles, which has gone viral the same way ours has. She tells me that many years ago, she was a student of Issei Barnwell, who of course is one of my favorite people. We haven't mentioned on this community gathering about Issei's wonderful oratorio that she wrote called Fortune's Bones. Has she ever mentioned that? But we can come back to that because I want Maggie to go forward.
Yes, and Fortune's Bones is incredible, Jim. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, you retained all of those details from our 3-minute conversation is extraordinary. You're amazing. Thank you so much for that introduction. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be back here. I'm going to go into gallery view so I can see all of you. Hi. Good morning from where I am. Good afternoon from where some of you are. And yeah, I would love to sing this song with you today. It's called "Crack the Sky," and it's a song that I wrote sometime early on in the last, in the last chapter, last 4-year chapter, and it was really an invocation that I needed to remember that that everything was going to be all right, that the darkness would pass, and the solo line that you hear over the top of it is inspired by the words of Martin Luther King. And the end of this beautiful quote, I encourage everybody to look up the entire quote if you've never heard it, but the end says, returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So his words inspired the solo line that you hear over the top, but I'm going to teach you how to sing this song with me. Let me just find
Crack the sky.
Great. Okay, so the words are crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. And the melody sounds like this. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. So let's just try that. Crack the sky, the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. That is the melody line that runs all the way through. There's a higher harmony. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. And you'll hear that layered in. And I think you'll hear a lower one too. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. It's easy for me to hit those notes at 9 in the morning. And then there's another piece that you'll hear that you can grab, hold on to if you like it, and it just says hold on. And it goes, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. And so you'll hear all these parts layered in, and I hope you'll grab them, and then I'll sing over the top of it, and we will do this together.
Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness, we'll be all right.
Hold on, hold on, keep doing that. Only love, only love. Oh, no, that doesn't come yet. Hold on, hold on. Only love, only love can drive the darkness away. Only love, only love, only love. Only light, only light, only light can keep the darkness at bay. Only light, only light, only light, only love, only love, only love can drive out the hate. Only love, only love, only love. Crack the sky, see the light,
come out the darkness will be alright. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness will be alright. Only love, only love, only love can drive the darkness away. Only love, only love, only love, only light, only light, only light can keep the darkness at bay. Only light, only light, only light, only love, only love, only love can drive out the hate. Only love, only love, only love. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness will be alright. Crack the sky, see the light, come out the darkness will be alright.
Woo! All right. Thank you, Maggie, for that awesome song, perfectly fitting in every single way. And thank you again, Jim, for your beautiful song. I can't think of a better way to be celebrating 300 days than to be in this room singing with both of you. Can we all please give them a huge thank you that they can see? And I am going to actually send Jim an unmute button. So there you go, Jim, see if you can unmute. And we'll just have a little bit of a chat here. And there you go. Hello, Jim, and hello, Maggie.
Hello.
So, Jim, just out of curiosity, did you ever find gallery view, or are you still just seeing you?
I got it, and then I got it. It went off again. I'm going to try to. For some reason or other, it won't come on for me. No.
So sometimes it changes depending on what the lead camera is doing. So if you want to try.
Oh,
and
I
hit it
see.
one more-
Wait a minute. I got it right.
There you go.
Now I've got it. Yeah.
This is better because now you don't have to have a conversation just with yourself, because that might be
Yes,
sort of awkward,
correct.
right? Yeah. So I would love it if I can ask both of you sort of how you are feeling since inauguration. This time, you know, we've been through a tough time. We're in a tough time. We don't know what kind of toughness is coming next with regards to the virus and everything political in our country. So Maggie or Jim, would one of you like to go first? Just chat a little bit about how you're feeling.
Well, I'm as I always have been, although it's been tough the last 4 years, I'm a very positive person. Just before we came onto this, I was browsing, and I saw something that said that President Obama broke down at the reading of the poem, the inaugural poem, and I listened to it again. And the last time, last Sunday, actually, I had mentioned when the Jubilee Voices were on. To me, its significance is the bottom line is the concept of inclusiveness. We're all in this together. We're all one country. And she just expressed what is facing us so beautifully. She's a beautiful person, a beautiful poet. And then a few days later, I saw Susan Rice on PBS, and she's in charge of the initiative to bring about racial equity within each federal agency and everything we do. And that's the way we bring about fundamental change. You have to be committed to have someone in charge at each location, and that person has to be committed to send the message down the line and make people accountable. If they're not accountable, you get rid of them. It's as simple as that. And hopefully, it's going to be difficult, but perhaps in the next, there are the haters and the doubters, but we can't let them get us down. We just have to move forward one step at a time, one day at a time, one person at a time, bringing about fundamental change.
That's beautiful, Jim. So beautiful. And I would say, you and I have talked a little bit about the meaningfulness of this younger generation. So Amanda Gorman, obviously representing, well, she is young, but also representing, we hope, that sort of surge that's happening amongst young people. And that poem was so incredibly beautiful. And I think this is kind of just a little indication of the way in which, like, it takes a village to raise a child. Nico's pediatrician called and said she wanted to assign him sitting and listening to that poem 3 times in a row and then memorizing it. And she said, if the kids can all memorize Hamilton, they can memorize that poem. And I thought, oh, what a really smart thing. I wouldn't have thought of that. And we're actually taking it totally seriously. And there is something about kids having been able to see her and now carry that sense of strength, that sense of being able to be a change maker, that sense of anything being possible, right? She hoped someday she would be president, and here she is reading her poem to a president. And the notion that when she's done with that, she's planning to move on forward and just become president anyway. So I just love the whole entire thing. And I'm so glad you brought that up. Maggie, would you want to add something?
Joe and I were talking a little bit earlier, and I said that I wrote a song called "I'll Walk That Way," and I wrote it on the morning that Joe Biden announced Kamala Harris as his running mate, and I was, wanting to just feel the full joy of that moment, the full hopefulness of that moment, and I really had to recognize that 4 years of this kind of political and social trauma had my hope very hidden and very nervous to let itself out, at least in the political realm, at least in the in that realm. Certainly through music there's always immediate access to joy, which is why it's so important to sing. But so I wrote a song about it, and the song was really just making a decision to walk in the direction of hope, even if at the other end of that road there would be disappointment, because to rob oneself of the physical, emotional, spiritual experience of feeling hopeful is a wasted moment. So the answer to how I'm feeling in this moment is that I can feel the hope, and I'm also very conscious of the fact that we're at the beginning of another mountain to climb, and there's so much work to do. But I'm so grateful that there's light, and that there's Amanda Gorman, and that Biden and Harris are in the White House, and that we have work that can be done. And so I find that really, really exciting.
That's great, Maggie. Thank you. So we, on the day of inauguration, we live streamed it in here, and then we all talked about it. And we had a sister duo called the Neilds who brought us their version of America the Beautiful. And they wept while they were singing. They wept after they were singing. We all wept. And one of the sisters, Katrina, said something like, she felt like she didn't even realize until the inauguration happened and while she was singing how much she had been holding in. And suddenly it was okay to let it out, to feel again, to feel hopeful. And I think that's been a real common thing in this room. And actually, while you were just talking, Ida, who's now in the room, one of our regular 10-year-olds, and her brother Whippy, who I think is 7, Ida's grandmother just joined in the room from Poland. And so this is like part of what I think makes this so super special, is that all around the globe, we are dealing with a really similar thing, right? Like the virus has us more unified in some ways as a globe, right? It doesn't matter where we are. We're all facing the same frightening things and the same challenges. And so the notion that we're all coming together and looking for that same element of hope, as well as looking for the path, right? So that's been one of the most amazing things also about this room, is that we're in here and we're talking about what it is. Like, so now we feel hope. Great. What do we do with it? And how do we turn that into change? And what's next? And I'm so glad that we can all continue to do that in here. I'm so looking forward to talking about change with you. And actually this morning I was thinking, 300 days. It's a really nice thing that they didn't make a year 400 days, right? Because we don't have to wait 100 more days to celebrate. We get to celebrate like on this quirky, like 365. Like, why is that number meaningful? Except we're going to have a big party in here. So that's why that number is meaningful. So thank you, Maggie, and thank you, Jim. Maggie, I'll start with you. Do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about, or can you tell us a little bit about your musical life in other spaces?
I can tell you that I'm longtime founder and director, co-director of the Golden Bridge Community Choir in Los Angeles. We just started a new online session last week, and we've been around for 15 years, and we're intergenerational, non-auditioned member of the Ubuntu Choir Network, created by Dennis Donnelly, who's on this call today. So I have that always going on, and I started an online song gathering as Joe did back in the early days. It's called Together in Song, and we meet every Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, and I have three musical guests who come and join us, and we lead an international group of people in song, and all that information is available at goldenbridgechoir.com, which is my website, and also my music is available there as well.
Thank you, Maggie. So I've been to your fabulous gatherings and they're awesome. And similar to some of the other things that happened in this room yesterday, we were talking about Dennis's thing that was going on, I think yesterday, last night. I'm sorry that I wasn't there. Dennis, did it go well? Yay.
It was fantastic.
So we have such an overlap of artists. So I've shown up in your song a couple of times. I think, was it Melanie Demore one time? Was it Chris Matthews one time? Was it, so yeah, just like, I love it, right? Like we're all singing, not the same songs. We're all singing with the same hope in all these different settings with the same people who can bring us that, that translation of all of what we're going through into music, which is such an amazing place to be able to reside through all of this. And so I was just thinking for anybody who's new in the room, when we did start this, and Maggie, you can tell me if your journey was similar. We started this in response to the pandemic. People were lonely. People didn't have a place to sing. So we did this, right? And then fast forward 6 weeks, whatever it was, and George Floyd was murdered. And suddenly we were here for a whole other reason, right? And we were singing for different reasons, and we were learning entirely new things, not just how to get through a pandemic, how to get through what it suddenly became apparent that we as a nation were. And so Maggie, was there any sort of similar in your zone?
Absolutely. I started it for the exact same reasons. I jumped choir online. I posted something on Facebook and people said, can we do that? Can we do that? So I started Together in Song. And yes, after George Floyd's murder, we took a complete and, hard focus, and we raised $11,000 for social justice organizations in the following months. And I tried to center artists whose work really speaks to social justice issues and change, so that we could come together as an international community and take a really hard look at what needs to be done.
That's beautiful. So I'm not sure if it came up in the introduction because I was futzing around with tech, but Maggie, you have like some sort of star power connection in that you were in two shows that people who are TV watchers know, right? That's Seinfeld and Friends. Is that right? And
Yes.
So super inspiring. And I've seen this a lot with some of the folks who have that kind of star power with them or behind them, but not enough of them. That notion that you can use that attention or that following to do something for change. So raising $11,000 and being able to, generate that for organizations is so important. And I'm super hopeful that we're going to see more of that happening now, that maybe also a lot of musicians and television stars and movie stars, we're also in that same strange, like unknown, can't feel it, can't hope phase. And that now there will be a real burst on the scene of support for Biden and for all the things and Kamala and all of the things that need to be done now. So thank you, Maggie, for bringing all that gloriousness here.
Thank you
Thank
you for having me, and such an honor to be here with Jim, who's so extraordinary. I feel really honored today.
Yay. So Maggie or Jim, do you guys have any questions for each other?
I don't have any questions. Maggie, I just wanted to reflect a little bit on how connected we are, because you mentioned the Neils. Katrina was in my first Rebel show in 1986 when she was a teenager, and her enthusiasm was so infectious. She was a beautiful young lady. She still is a beautiful woman. And their version of America the Beautiful is just off the charts. It really is. but the beat goes on. The beat goes on. The positive will always outlast the negative. But there are a lot of haters out there.
That is the truth.
That is the truth. So, Jim, you've been a really big part of this room since we started being in here and singing with Jubilee Voices. We've gotten to hear one little verse at a time from you, and today we got to hear a whole song. But folks in this room who were with us still back in June, so June 19th, which was Juneteenth, we did a separate celebration, which Jim was here for, and we got to hear him sing a little more then, and also talk a lot more. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful evening. Jim, I remember at that time that we showed a picture of your mom. Can you tell the story for the folks in the room who weren't with us then or who are new to us?
Well, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and my mom, who was from Houston, Texas, went there after she graduated from college. She went to an HBCU, Fairview college at that time. When she was in 1913, she was chosen as the Juneteenth princess. In Houston, Juneteenth is a very, very big celebration. And I have this beautiful photo of her with her entourage. Apparently, the young ladies in the group were her Sunday school class. They're all dressed in white, and the wagon is being pulled by a mule, and it's a beautiful. But Juneteenth, in fact, when growing up in Detroit, we didn't celebrate Emancipation Day, but at Windsor, Windsor is the only place in the United States where you go south to go to Canada. And across the river in Windsor, they celebrated Emancipation Day, which was Juneteenth, actually, their celebration. And of course, many escaped slaves. In fact, my church, Second Baptist Church, which was the first African-American church in Detroit in 1837, I think, was an Underground Railroad station. And many famous, including Frederick Douglass, spoke there. So that's the story of my mom and Juneteenth.
Thank you, Jim, so much. So actually, while you were talking, I just went into my email and found the photo. So thank you, Aaron, for screen sharing this beautiful photo. And
she's the lady on the right behind the driver.
The lady on the right behind the driver. So I think behind the driver is,
yes,
is that
she's sitting there with her back to the driver.
With her back to the driver. Okay, Aaron, you want to use your little pointer again? Yep, there you go. So that's so beautiful. And what a time.
She was a beauty, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. And you are beautiful too. It is so, so lovely to have you in this space and to be able to share this with you, Jim. And for anybody who doesn't know, okay, Aaron, thank you. You can, for anybody who doesn't know Jim, I'm sure we'll be in this room with him at other times and sharing more. He is like a walking history book, his own personal history, as well as so the histories that he's lived through, and just also the knowledge of the breadth of what was going on in various time periods. And Jim, you could teach us for so long. We could have a whole separate daily antidote of Jim and just be here every day listening to you and singing with you. Thank you so much for being with us today. I want to shout out Jim Harkless and Maggie Wheeler again with another big thank you. And I'm wondering, Jim, would you be willing to sing that chorus for us just one or two more times so we can sing along with you?
All right, here's the note. On my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion, on my journey now, Mount Zion. Well, I wouldn't take nothing, Mount Zion, for my journey now, Mount Zion.
Beautiful, 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 Jim. Thank you so much, so much. And thank you, everybody in this room, for being here and for singing with us again here on our 300th day. And if anybody wants to post a message into the chat directly for Jim, you can go ahead and do that now as we're saying our goodbyes, because we will be sending him the chat. So anything you want to say personally to Jim, stick it in there, and he'll get a lovely email later today with your thanks and your good wishes. And Jim, we are so happy to see you today, and we're wishing you so much feeling better vibe. Let's all give Jim a big hug, please. There you go. Love it. Thank you, gang. And Maggie, always great to sing with you, and can't wait to have you back for that Kamala Harris song, hopefully in February. And I want to thank you again for being here. And it was nice actually to have your low 9 a.m. voice. So there's one of the upsides. You know, my California artists love to complain about how they just got out of bed and they haven't had any coffee yet. But you found the upside of it, which I think really reflects your spirit too. Thank you for being here and bringing all of that. Yeah, so thank you, gang, so much. And another great day on day 300 for all of us, to wave all of us out of the room. And yep, Carolyn, actually, you want to hold that sign up again? We're going to do a little highlight here so everybody gets to see it. And there we are, our 300-day celebration complete with Singing Queen. I love it. That's awesome. Thank you, Carolyn. That's so lovely. And thank you again to everybody. And actually, I'm going to take a quick spin to make sure there's not anything else creative I'm missing. Anybody else holding up anything creative? Or anybody just feeling exceptionally creative or want to make a face or anything else? All right. I am saying goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. Lots of love and hugs. Can't wait to sing Jim with you again and Maggie with you again. And thank you, Kathy and Virginia, and a hug right back to you. Thank you, Busy and Margot and Arlene and Anna. Thank you so much, everybody. Please, a big hug for Anna and a big hug for Kathy. We got to read all about them in our article, and it was such a lovely thing to be in that zone with you. Thank you, Susan, also quoted in the article, even if not actually noted that she's being quoted. So I'm going to call Susan out one more time for her joke for what do you call 150 Zoom singers? A duet. Da! Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Susan. Totally great. Deborah, thank you and goodbye. Doug, goodbye. Caroline, thank you. Christiana and Bob, Sarah, Dennis, Bonnie, and Carolyn and Deli. Thank you so much, gang. And Dan and Luda and Mark. Hello, Mark. Oh, we're glad you made it. Nice to see you there. And Kevin and Tom, Fran and Dale and Lynn and Lisa and Pete and Janet. That's one goodbye for Pete and one goodbye for Janet. I love my double people in the screens. There's one for Christiana, one for Bob, one for Luda, one for Mark. Yeah, except I look really, yeah, okay, never mind. Mabel and Bob. Well, there's Mabel anywhere and Bob somewhere in the distance. Anne, Carol, Susan, and Jane, thank you so much for being here today. And Greg Lewis, Karen, Trish, Janet, Susan, Valerie, Marnie, Bob, and Charlene. So there's one for Bob and one for Charlene. Even if I only see one of you right now, you can give her the other one. Jenny, thank you so much. Annette, Renata, thank you. Tora, great to see you. Hey, there's Ava in Poland with Bogomi. Hello, Ava, and hello, Bogomi, and goodbye to you both. And Ida and Natalia and Whippy, are you guys holding something up? Okay, wait, hang on. I'm going to spotlight you. And then, you know what I'm going to do after I spotlight you is I'm going to actually remember to say goodbye to everybody on Facebook. But actually, everybody on Facebook's really glad they're getting to be a part of this. All right, hang on, spotlighting Ida and Whippy. Go. What do you have? 300. Lovely. Oh, Ida and Whippy. Whippy, that's really good. Is that like a volcano of like, yeah, a volcano of Daily Antidote in all of the many ways. Or as my family likes to call it, the Daily, what? Oh, I won't even say it. They have nicknames for it. that are actually very telling about what I might be like right before the doors open. The daily anecdote of song, they love to say. Yeah, okay, so now you know the truth. So thank you, everybody, so much on Facebook for joining us. We're super glad you were here with us today, and I hope you can come again and sing with us